They were all the same. The pig that swung golf clubs out of anger and the calculating scum that sought favor from the pig. Of course, he did not intend to purely criticize the male employee for being calculating. It was not bad to try and survive. One needed to do what one needed to do to live, but to throw one's pride and everything else away for it didn't seem appetizing. And after reminiscing about Karen Malhotra's actions in the past, he could only flash a bitter smile. You jerk, I will kill you, you bug. Karen Malhotra, being escorted by the male employee, spitefully glared at Karen Chan. Call Manager Prakash. Tell him to crush him. Manager Prakash was a thug who worked for Karen Malhotra and oversaw a small gang. Oh, I'm so scared. Karen Chan scoffed. Times have changed, and he was still trying to use violence over a petty argument, while also announcing it in front of people. Karen Chan wondered if Karen Malhotra was just stupid or unable to see logic, overcome with anger as he was. You jerk. If Manager Prakash arrives, Karen Malhotra brought up Manager Prakash repeatedly, threatening Karen Chan. It seemed like he had no doubt Manager Prakash would be able to take down Karen Chan. Manager Prakash, looking behind Karen Chan. The person he had sought for this whole time could be seen. Coincidentally, Manager Prakash had come into the office. CEO Malhotra. Manager Prakash seemed a little taken aback at the unexpected satiation, while he ordered his subordinates to assist Karen Malhotra. Oh, Manager Prakash, that jerk hit me. He hit me. Karen Malhotra winded Manager Prakash while hanging onto him, leaving out the part where he had swung the club first. That jerk, because I lectured him a little, telling him to do his job right. He cursed at me and hit me, boss. The whole story. Never mind the whole story. He hit me. Beat him right now. Karen Malhotra was stubborn. He caused a ruckus, waving his arms and legs like a whining toddler. You stupid idiot. What are you doing in front of all the employees? At that moment, Manager Prakash felt a headache coming, but he also could not ignore the complaints of his boss. Karen Malhotra was an essential source of income for him and his family, which was nothing but a small gang. I'll need to clean it up in short order. Manager Prakash made up his mind and decided to clean up the office first. What are you all looking at? When Manager Prakash roared, all eyes fell back to their respective desks. Everyone, quiet, work quietly instead of needlessly gossiping, and Team Manager Oza. Manager Prakash pointed at the calculating male employee who had helped Karen Malhotra bring the CEO back to his office. Oh, yes. Let us go. Boss, Team Manager Oza struggled to help Karen Malhotra, who was fat and overweight. Haha, you are dead now, you jerk. Karen Malhotra, on his way to his office, snickered at Karen Chan. It was as if the image of Karen Chan beaten to death by Manager Prakash was already ingrained in his head. Oh, really? Karen Chan, who had been silently watching the situation unfold, had nothing else to say. He really did put on every kind of show. He wondered how he could have worked at such a company for 9 months. Hey, intern. As Karen Chan was wondering, Manager Prakash called him. You should have known when to swallow your pride. Just because he gave you an earful, you shouldn't have come at him like that. You should have just agreed with him and left it at that. Manager Prakash, although he scolded Karen Chan, didn't seem too convinced. He also knew well of CEO Karen Malhotra's wrongdoings, and he had received immense stress from him up to this point. Although he worked for Karen Malhotra, he did understand this young intern's anger. I will scold him a little and let it go. Manager Prakash made up his mind. These were new times, and using fists to solve problems was a thing of the past. A wise thing for a gangster living in these times to do would be to create a situation where Karen Malhotra would more or less be satisfied. However, all of Manager Prakash's good intentions disappeared with the intern's smug tone. What adult? Karen Chan asked. In your eyes, that pig looks like an adult. Well, I guess for a gangster. The fin answer is the adult. The veins bulged in Manager Prakash's slick back forehead. Hey, Manager Prakash glared at Karen Chan. Watch your mouth. Think of the situation. Think of the person. That's how you live for a long time. Yeah, that rule only applies to thugs. Like you. The word thug triggered Manager Prakash, as it did Karen Malhotra, and he clenched his fists. You crazy dog. You want to die. It seemed as if Manager Prakash's subordinates were more infuriated than the manager himself. You little dog. Did you just call my boss a thug? Oh, you're smiling? You want me to ruin your face? Thus, a threatening atmosphere formed, as if punches were going to be thrown at any minute. Sigh, I was just going to let it go, but I need to fix your attitude today. Manager Prakash did not lose his cool and calmly let his anger simmer despite being insulted. You, follow me up to the roof. Manager Prakash pointed to the office door. No, not like that, Karen Chan answered. You follow. He exited the office door first. What is that, kid? Manager Prakash scoffed at this absurd situation. Karen Chan's first task after returning to the past was to organize his life before the Great Summoning, and the first step was to quit working at this dirty, corrupt company. I was nothing back then, wasting away in a company like this. Before the Great Summoning, Karen Chan was a normal young man, no different from anyone else. A young man struggling to feed himself, living day to day. He flashed a smile thinking of his past and walked into the office. And as soon as he showed himself, all eyes fell on him. It was obvious that they were nervous, like a group of peasants in the face of the nobleman. Hey, you punk. Kiran Malhotra, who had been prowling the office with his golf club, roared as he laid eyes on him. What the hell do you want, you punk? Karen Chan answered. The office went silent. Karen Chan, he has finally lost it from all the stress. He has lost it, thought some of the male employees. Oh, what's he planning? That CEO is a gangster. Is Karen going to be all right? Was what the female employees were thinking. Wait, what the hell do you want, you punk? Yeah, you punk. Kiran Malhotra felt like his blood was flowing backwards. Who would have guessed that the CEO would be cursed by a newbie who was not even a year into the real world? Why you, little insect of an intern? Who do you think you're talking to? Modern Indian, what do you mean who? It's just an oily fat bastard who has a bit of money. Or what? A gangster? Thug. That did it. Many who used to or currently use their fists for personal gain tended to react sensitively to the word thug. They preferred to call themselves gangsters or men with chivalrous spirits. Of course, it was both Shastra's tea. In the eyes of Karen Chan, anyone seeking to gain by using violence was the same thing, garbage. Especially, gangs had evolved after the 90s to use the law to their advantage and hid behind enforcement and authority. Kiran Malhotra was a perfect example of this. Well, I say it like it is. What else would I call a thug? Human garbage? Karen Chan sneered at the evil CEO, unfazed by Kiran Malhotra's obvious anger. And with that, Kiran Malhotra exploded. Hey, you F asterisk king son of a B asterisk TCH, the golf club, with a loud whoosh, swung towards Karen Chan. It happened in the blink of an eye, however. The club didn't make contact. Huh? Kiran Malhotra looked around. You missed. Karen Chan laughed at Kiran Malhotra. He had avoided the club swung at full speed just by leaning slightly away. The son of a B asterisk TCH. Kiran Malhotra, red-faced and overcome with anger, ran towards Karen Chan. However, he could not even touch the corner of Karen Chan's clothes. But was it surprising? Karen Chan was recognized even by others of his physical strength and power. Even in such a form, he was still Karen Chan. One needed to be at least a professional boxer to be a threat, and even that would be nothing against him in 2 months. Huff, huff, you little rat. Kiran Malhotra huffed and puffed, gritting his teeth. Aren't you the incompetent one? Not being able to hit me, Karen Chan smirked. More importantly, his expression changed. His burning eyes seemed to pierce the heart. Indian, you play with the golf club one more time, and it won't be fun anymore. It was a clear warning. However, Kiran Malhotra, already overcome with anger and unable to make proper judgments, ignored the warning and lunged forward. After all, if he swung around golf clubs in his office because he was a little angry, it was obvious that the man didn't have common sense or courtesy. Die, you dog. Crack, ah. Kiran Malhotra fell with one lone scream. The man on the ground could not even breathe normally. The fist had struck right in the gut. Yuik. The blow was so strong that Kiran Malhotra vomited all the fish stew that he had for lunch that day. You don't take punches well. I thought you would hold out because you were fat. Karen Chan looked at Kiran Malhotra and delivered the final insult. Boss, are you all right? An employee rushed to Kiran Malhotra's side and assisted him. Boss, Karen Chan, you bastard. Get on your knees and apologize to the boss now. His calculating move made Karen Chan hopeful of his success in the workplace in the future, even if he was just going to be here, rotting away. Karen Chan did not respond to the male employee. He was not worth even acknowledging. Human trash.